anytime we have like an annual gathering, like Treaty Days or anything to do with like a cultural event, Boucher's always been there to support financially, tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, they've definitely made an impact, a positive impact, knowing that the money and profits that they make, and you can share that.
The one dozer actually built a company. I started back in 1998, the business. I ran that for a year, the piece of equipment, and I had to purchase another piece of equipment. And by 2001 or 2, I had 5 pieces of equipment already.
I joined the company in 2004 when we went into full-time operations, and we found ourselves working our side business that we owned in the evenings and weekends. It became very full-time, especially with a family.
You know, as a young kid growing up, and you're never really too focused on your parents and where they work or what they do, unless it's a career day at school or something. So all of a sudden, 3 years later, I was about 12 years old, and then I kind of got wind that they started up a new company. It's called Boucher, and they started doing really well for themselves. And then that's when, since then, it's been kind of integrated right into our family, because then it was known, and we had to talk about it and talk about lifestyles changing and things going forward, and what was going to happen with our lives, their lives.
If you own the business, you got to say how you want to run your business. And you're working for somebody else, you have no say, you got to run their process. But we decided to do things differently.
The best way I know to make a difference is through walking the talk, right? That's the best way I know.
From the get-go, they always wanted to keep the company at a certain percentage of Indigenous, and of course, as a family, we always were like wanting to be more and more so, especially being involved with Fort McKay, like our home community.
I find myself working with Fort McKay back in the day that I had about probably 70% First Nation working with me, myself at the Fort McKay company. And it's just how you surround yourself with First Nations people, and how you work with them, and how you listen to them, and you work beside them and helping their people in their communities.
So impact starts internally with your team members that you work alongside each and every day. And one of the things that we implemented was this whole concept of grow your own. And for me, because we are self-taught, it meant getting behind the folks that you work with to be able to see them succeed within the organization. We have many team members that started in labor positions that run entire sites for us now. And so we really wanted Boucher to be more than just a stop along the way in your journey, but a career. We wanted to be the business where you thought maybe we were one thing, but once you got here, you loved the culture and you wanted to stay, so you've made it a career. The impact Grow Your Own has had on our employees is that they see the organization as a place that they want to call home and want to stay for a very long time and make Boucher their career. I think they see the opportunities that exist within the organization, and they see a growing organization that has a bright future to grow geographically outside the region, and they want to be a part of that.
I'm going to say 25 years from now, I think you're going to see a lot more youth listening and hearing the story of Boucher and how it started, and actually be encouraged by that story.
I think what surprised me most about bringing the Indigenous culture into the business is how it was embraced not only by, of course, our Indigenous team members, but our non-Indigenous team members. And I think it helped them create a space of belonging for them that was not there before, and a sense of pride and ownership of being a non-Indigenous team member working within an Indigenous business.
I think, this region itself, the name Boucher really speaks for itself. It's not just the little communities, but it's the bigger picture of the region as a whole, and what Boucher has done to show that, to be present in the community events, and also to support so many organizations.
The Family Foundation is a foundation we created with Boucher and the elder members in our family, so 18 plus. And now that we have a couple of younger siblings, we're going to try and integrate them in slowly. I started it quite a few years back, and just because of how much the company already invested in the community, and we wanted to do something as a family as well to start hitting all those notes throughout the community, and especially here on our home reservation of Fort McKay.
They're actually trailblazers for Indigenous businesses, and paving the way for people like me and other local businesses or across Canada. It just shows that there's so much opportunity if you just keep pushing forward.
In order to succeed up to this point, 25 plus years, we needed the right partners, and we would have never gotten to where we are without them. Fort McKay First Nation has been a huge partner, advocate of Boucher's right from day one. In the early days with Chief Jim Boucher, up to now with Chief Raymond Powder. Really a First Nation that stands behind its people and their entrepreneurs, which is huge for our success.
They have definitely a good built-in system and process with retaining and showcasing Indigenous business within the community. So I feel like they provide opportunities to smaller companies and assist with their growth. And it definitely helped with Medica North's growth for sure.
I think along the way, we found our purpose was bigger, and it meant impact. And the purpose was really being about impacting Indigenous communities and Indigenous people. I think social responsibility is always worth talking a little bit about. I think in our area within oil sands, just because of the nature of the business, we see a lot of companies from the outside come into our area, do a lot of work, and leave. And I think it doesn't matter if you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous. I think we all have to be socially responsible as business owners when we enter an area, to be respectful of that area. And I think at the front of our minds should be more than just margin and profit. It really should be about what's the impact I'm leaving behind in that community? How am I going in and making a difference in that community?
I think that's a really important piece because my parents are Indigenous, so as I am. And it's just really important to show what Indigenous people can do, because a lot of people think they're different or stuff like that. But a lot of Indigenous people are strong and they're resilient, so I think that's really good.
Being Indigenous myself, getting the chance to work for an Indigenous company and that family aspect really made me want to aspire to grow within the company, I guess.
There's a lot that's exciting that's going on, and a lot of stuff to look forward to. We're always talking about expanding here, expanding there, doing this or doing that, and it's just always exciting to talk about it and to see some of the bigger things happen. Even this beautiful building we're in, before it was nothing close to this. It was 2 trailers that were across the road, and it's a constant thought in our minds is what's next.
I feel like their goals and their vision is so impactful, not just from an economic standpoint, but from a social responsibility. So they give back so much to the community, and it showcases everywhere you go. You can take your child to hockey and you'll see Boucher there. You can go to Fort McKay and you're gonna see, Boucher representing a team. So, you can go to the Ball Diamond and you'll see Boucher there. I feel like they just they have so much care for community.
We just love what we're doing, and if people out there recognize that, it's awesome, it's great, and we do help a lot of First Nations people out there.